Welcome everybody to Daytona International Speedway for round number 3 of the Straight Cash Money mini-series live here on LSRTV. And ladies and gentlemen, if you followed this series for the first 2 races, you've seen the Cup cars battle it out at Talladega and Michigan. But tonight, we're doing a little trucking here tonight because tonight's race, round number 3, 85 laps at Daytona, will feature the NASCAR trucks as they take to the high banks of Daytona, the world center of speed, 2.5 miles here in Daytona Beach, Florida, right on the beach here in the beautiful East Coast here in Florida. The planes are going to be taking off and landing all night long, but the trucks are going to be tearing it up here at Daytona. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Rentz. Welcome to round number 3 of Straight Cash Money. Joining me in the booth as well, manning the cameras, he's a busy man tonight, is Charles Wooten. And Charles, we were here earlier today and it didn't look like there was going to be a whole lot of trucks as one truck went plowing into the inside wall there on the inside. But Charles, this one filled up and we're going to have ourselves a race tonight.
Yeah, it went from about 19 to looking around 37, 38, almost 40 trucks here. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, it's not nighttime, Greg. It's daytime. Well, it's night in the race, and I'm sure somewhere on the planet it's nighttime, and we have unconfirmed reports that we do have people watching from the moon, and it's always night there. So day or night, we're right when we say night, because it's night somewhere.
Yeah, so there. Anyway, we are here with Daytona, and it's going to be fun. We've had 2 winners in 2 races so far. Garrett Maines picking up the win at Talladega, a late race, much like tonight to start this off. Then last week we had a little bit of a surprise. Brad Wilson being in the right place at the right time, leading just 1 lap at Michigan, but it was the last one for a CGE 1-2-3. So no doubt both those drivers will be looking to keep momentum going. But there is a laundry list of very competitive drivers who would like a word with those 2 if they think that they are going to go 2 wins on the season.
Yeah, and this is going to be different than the Cup cars. One thing different between the Cup cars and the trucks, these trucks can do a little bit more pushing. If you know the Cup cars are notorious for bumper hooks. You can catch somebody's bumper. Toyota, Ford, Chevy, those don't exactly mesh up well when it comes to bump drafting, whereas these trucks do a little bit more. So hopefully we won't see too many bumper hooks, people going around causing the big one. That being said, it is Daytona, Greg. I do expect to see at least one big one here sometime during this race. It's just inevitable. It's gonna happen.
And it really has become inevitable. I mean, we always talk about the big one, but it wasn't always a guarantee. Nowadays, with the way these trucks handle and the way the cars handle when they're racing, it is pretty much a lock that you're going to see the big wreck here. And we hope that it doesn't take out too many strong competitors when it does happen. Qualifying set to get underway here at Daytona. Fastest in practice was Christian Stanford in the number 28, a 47.644 running a Lowe's Cobalt Jimmy Johnson tribute paint scheme on board his number 28. So we'll see how it goes with qualifying, though, because that was in the draft, and a lot of drivers focused on single car runs in that practice session. So I think those are the guys you're going to have to watch in the qualifying session here today as we turn them loose with the green flag. There's Bradley Wilson, truck number 26 winner last week at Michigan. We'll see what he's got here in his truck tonight.
Yeah, I got Phantom graphics on there, and I believe that's a new paint job here this week as well. I'll have to confirm with him if we get to talk to him again. I do believe it is. I could be wrong as well, but again, his first lap is going to be underway here momentarily. He is, of course, on warm-up lap. So this one will probably be about 4 minutes or something like that. It's going to be way too long. There was 1 minute 8, so obviously a little slower than he wants, but it is warm up, so he'll be going around this time. But again, who's going to be at the top? And Greg, how much stock do you put into qualifying here to be on pole? I'm about 50-50 split if qualifying is, a must, or if you're a little further back, not necessarily that bad.
Well, it really depends on what you want to do as a driver, because Daytona and Talladega, the plate races, it really boils down to what do you want to do with your race. Do you want to run up at the front, or do you want to hang out at the back and try to dodge all the problems as they break out? It really comes down to what you want to do as a driver. If it's me, I want to start at the back, so I'm not sure I would go out and qualify, and if I would kind of just ride it out, so I guarantee myself that I start near the back, because I don't like running up at the front in the plate races up until the very end as a driver. I don't like being up there right in the thick of things. I like letting it sort itself out to try to make a run for it at the end. So that comes down to what you want to do as a driver. Wilson at the top of the board right now, but here's the guy everybody's going to keep an eye on, Garrett Maines out of Virginia, the Terminator that he's come to be known here in the LSRTV ranks. A very strong run every single time he drives, no matter what car he's driving, no matter what track he's at. Garrett Maines is going to be a threat to win, and here he is once again here. This time it's straight cash money again, $50 to the winner here tonight. And then we pay out 40 the second, 30 the third, 20 the fourth, and 10 the fifth. Top 5 payout here tonight. So Garrett Maines, 1 win already. Looked like he was in position to get it done again at Michigan last week. However, pit stops came into play late. He ran out of fuel on the first green white checkered, and unfortunately relegated him to a 7th place finish. Looking for a bounce back tonight. Not too often you hear the words Garrett Maines looking for a bounce back.
Yeah, it's something you don't necessarily hear, but running out of fuel, this is, again, it's money. There's money for the championship, and there's money for per race. There's no real points battle where you might think of a typical points battle where you're running for a championship. And for someone like Garrett Maines with Smithfield on there, talking about eNASCAR, Coca-Cola Series, that's a points battle, where there's upwards of $100,000 on the line per purse. That's the points battles he's used to. This right here, this is nothing more than fun and games for him, trying to win a little extra money. And that's what the rest of these guys are doing. $50 is $50. That can buy you some content, or in my case, I could probably buy some taco wings. But either way, $50 is on the line for first, and not to mention second, third, fourth, and so on. So these guys are just out here trying to make a little extra money.
Goes to the top of the board at a 51.978, and you saw him go below the yellow line in the iRacing server in qualifying. That is legal. You can go down below the yellow line there, the double yellow, unlike real life, to get a little extra speed. As you watch Rhett Tucker, who we've seen doing some dirt racing as well on LSR TV, locking him up, so he's not happy with that warm-up lap. The good news is he had not taken the green flag yet, so he is going to get another shot at it. Here's Ed Osborne. But going back to Maines there, you can go below the double yellow line in qualifying on iRacing. It does not register that. So while that's not allowed in the real stuff you see here at Daytona with NASCAR and stuff, that is completely legal here at here on iRacing. So Maines using a little bit of a head game there to get himself a little bit of an advantage there to get the quick time.
Yeah, the only way it would be illegal is if the league didn't allow it, and most leagues don't. They don't frown upon it or anything. One thing, we haven't seen anybody do it in this league so far, Greg, but one thing some of those leagues frown upon, some don't, is warming these tires up. You'll see people doing a little bit of a burnout to heat these tires up. Again, I haven't seen anybody do it in this one, but we'll get your thoughts on it. Should leagues allow it, not allow it? I know iRacing actually at one point, it was a bannable offense if you did donuts or burned your tires up to heat them up, and then they've since done away with that rule. So what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, they did away with that rule, but they added what's called the scrutiny rule for qualifying, mainly for hosted and league races. What that is you can set it up to where how much you want to enforce the qualifying discipline as far as warming up the tires goes. You can set it to no scrutiny, where you can do donuts for the first 5 minutes of qualifying, heat the tires up if you really wanted to. Not sure if you would really want to do that, but then go out and lay it down your lap. But you can also set it from, I believe it's 5 various levels, all the way up to extreme, I believe, is the top level, which that means even if you so much as maybe slide a little bit out of pit road, that would classify as warming up the tires. So even if you don't even do it intentionally, you just slide a little bit, it would negate that lap because scrutiny is up that high. So that was kind of the alternate that iRacing came up with there. It's not in the official ranks yet, but it is available for the hosted and league races. This one falls into a hosted race here tonight as opposed to a league session. So it's a matter of what the officials have determined their qualifying scrutiny level to be at.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can get that information to us, what their level is on it. But again, it's not something we've seen thus far, as 22 drivers have taken time, and the slowest of those is the current one we're watching, JR Miller, with a 52.570. Again, typically, I would say he needs to pick it up a little bit. I'm not too concerned with qualifying runs right now, although I would like to have that top pit stall as far as getting out, because if you're, I would say, top maybe 3 stalls, I don't think you could go to 4th or beyond, but at least top 3, maybe only top 2. One thing I really like about those pit stalls, Greg, is the fact that when you get done with your pit stop, you can just hammer down and get out of the pits. You really don't have to worry about getting caught speeding. Too far back, you can't just hammer and go. You're going to end up having to, throttle back a little bit not to get caught speeding on exit.
Saw JR Miller do what Maines did there and duck below the double yellow line to jump up into the top 5 on qualifying. Remember, we just talked about it. That is legal here in the Straight Cash Money mini series as Kevin Hallman comes out in the Napa Chevy to try to set a lap down. He's going to take the green flag now. About 1 minute left, so Hallman's only going to get 1 lap here, Charles. We'll have to see where he goes. And unfortunately, 1 lap at Daytona means you're most likely starting near the back.
Yeah, 1 lap for him, and it looks like Jeff Snyder going to get 1 lap. Zach Adams and everybody else behind him not going to put a time in, which, if I recall correctly, Greg, last week we had a lot of drivers that didn't qualify as well, so really no surprise. I've seen races where half the field doesn't qualify. Here we got a little over half the field, but still a good probably 12 to 15-ish drivers not going to be taking qualifying. That's still a pretty good amount.
Yeah, that's a big chunk. And again, that all depends here at the plate races on what you want to do as a driver, as Hallman's going to come in and get his 1 lap, 52.3. Not a bad first lap for Hallman, but it's going to be good for 22nd on the board. Excuse me, that is the other Hallman there. Hallman 24th. That was Darren Hallman who went 22nd. This Hallman goes 25th now as Snyder leapfrogs him just a little bit. And unfortunately, you're going to see the time run out before he gets back to the line as he comes by just 13 seconds left, and he's halfway down the backstretch right now. So he's not going to get back to the stripe in time. So we'll start 25th on the boards. His time's going to run out now, and you're going to see him go away now. And we are set for the grid here for Straight Cash Money, and Garrett Maines look like he's going to lead into the green once again.
He is indeed, and your first 5 rows here are going to be Garrett Maines, followed, of course, by Stephen Gregory, 97 in second place. Should be a good little battle there going on in row number 1. Row 2 going to be Derek Fulton. No surprise there in that 70 machine with William Scott Jr. in the 21. Row 3 is going to be the 78 of JR Miller and Ed Osborne. I believe, yes, that's the 555. Just don't have a 3-digit number there for him here tonight. Row number 4 going to be Jonathan Munda in the 55 and John Ernest in the 75. So 2 5-digit number there's in row 4. And row number 5, your top 10 drivers here are going to be the 42 of Andrew Navarro and, of course, the 82 of Clint Mata in that 82 machine.
Your eyes on Brian Chu driving the number 11 here tonight. He's in the Interstate Batteries truck. Watch for him. He has really impressed me these first 2 races by being there at the end of the race. Pete Polini, one of the top dogs of super late model racing on iRacing, and definitely a staple of LSRTV, starts 12th. Curtis Critchley and last week's winner Bradley Wilson, 2 more drivers who we see a lot here on LSRTV, 13th and 14th. The father of Garrett Maines, Jason Maines, in the number 35, rolls off 15th with Kevin Winker to his outside in number 3, rolling off a 16th position. Taking up row number 9 will be Nathan Rogg in the number 91. Alan Dobbs was up in the mix for the win last night. Unfortunately, came up just a little bit short. I believe he finished outside of the top 3 after falling into the same problem as Garrett Maines at the end of the race. Ryan Twinham, who was up near the front for a little bit, and Robert Sewall round out the top 20.
And going on to row 11, going to be Rob Green and the number 18 and the 14 on his outside, Darren Hallman, and again the 14th in row 11. Row 12 going to be the 17 of Ronald White and the 33 of Jeff Snyder. Row 13 going to be Kevin Hallman in the 29 and Kristen Sanford in the 28 machine. Row 14 going to be the 99 of Rhett Tucker. Look to see him come through the field as he did not qualify. Kieran Church, another one looked for coming through this field in the 37 that did not qualify. 15th row going to be Zach Adams in the 71 and Rusty Odyssey in that 5 machine, rounding out your top 15 rows, Greg.
Michael Anthony will roll off 31st into number 12 with Taylor Peacock, the guy putting this all together here for the series, in 32nd. Hunter Parsons, another one we're going to have to keep an eye on in the 00, rolls off 33rd. Brian Jablonski in the 07, 34th. Scott Hess, 35th. 37 trucks in the field. Travis Paul and Joseph Allen will round out the field.
A stout field for sure there for your Tom Servo Wireless starting grid. And Greg, I really think it's everybody's favorite thing. I know it's one of my favorites, and that is where we let these cars go loose. And of course, big shout out to iRacing for their awesome cameras that they allow us to use. But the static cam's always one of my favorites.
Yeah, and we got them here for you at Daytona. So as the iRacing pace car, the Ford Mustang, pulls down pit road, putting the field in the hands of Garrett Maines, let's turn them loose for 85 laps, and let's kick some asphalt at Daytona. We're underway. Well, that didn't take long. A big accident at the start of the race, collecting most of the second half of the field as we get going. A lot of trucks collected. You see one on pit road there coming through. A lot of damaged trucks here, and we got ourselves a swag replay about 45 seconds into the race, Charles.
Yeah, 45 seconds in, and we were wondering if this was going to happen, how many we would have, and just wadding them up, 2 and 3 wide on not even lap 1, like a lap half. And we go 3 wide, we wad them up. Race control obviously going to be telling these guys, all right, calm down. I've had the distinct pleasure of being around some race control. It's typically dirt race control, but I've heard the language used on race control, and when you cause a 3 wide pileup on lap 1 and not even completing the lap, race control usually not too happy with you.
And you learn a couple creative terms as well, Charles, when you're in that position next to race director. You learn a few words you can use in other forms of life.
Yes, and I will, full disclosure, some of these words will probably get little kids' mouth washed out with soap. So, yes, because little kids probably shouldn't say the words, so we won't say them either. But, yes, they are very creative, colorful words that you probably should not use too often. But, yes, they definitely have to be warned. And that's the only way you learn here. But unfortunately, it came out that early. Here, but Garrett Maines, no surprise, he's out front. Stephen Gregory behind him, and they look like they're going too fast. They're doing about 140, but they're still trying to catch up to the pace car. which should be appearing there into the screen right now. But you know, that's another thing you have to watch out for these super speedways. Is, you know, once everybody catches the pace car and there's a few stragglers, those guys could come flying up behind. And we've seen it before, Greg, where, you know, somebody wrecks somebody under caution because they, you know, they're not calling out, hey, pace car in turn one, and people don't get to check up in time and run over each other.
Well, I mean, haven't we always wanted to call bowling here on LSRTV? I mean, what we wanted, or we would get with that situation as the field bunches up here off of turn number 2. Garrett Maines leading the way as he led the first 55 yards before we took the caution for the first time here tonight. Stephen Gregory up there in second in the Oreo truck. Derek Fulton up to third in the number 70 after starting third, so nice run for him thus far. William H. Scott and J.R. Miller, your top 5 right now. And the drivers are already trying to entertain themselves as Andrew Navarro sounds like he is serenading the rest of the drivers in race chat under caution, something he was doing quite a bit at Michigan last week as well. So Navarro bringing out his singing powers in race chat right now. And not sure the other drivers are appreciative or not, but hey, whatever passes time under yellow, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I didn't know he liked to sing to every other driver, so we'll definitely have a chat with him about that and see what his thoughts are and if he thinks people like his singing. But is there any is it a hit single he's maybe singing, or just something he made up?
Don't know. I think it might be something he made up because he was doing this at Michigan last week too. It's not exactly over the mic, it's more in the the text chat to it, but his sound, I have seen him key up a few times, so he might be singing along in the car with them, and he was singing the same song under caution at Michigan last week. So we'll have to discuss and see where it stacks up there, and maybe we'll get him to hum a few bars on mic and see if we can get an American Idol type judging here on Andrew Navarro's singing voice. But we are lights out on the pace car. Garrett Maines leads, Stephen Gregory second, Derek Fulton third. We're going to try this again, Charles.
Yeah, we'll stack them up again and try this again. And once again, we really didn't get that one in, so we will go and try to let you hear these trucks one more time, hopefully this time not resulting in a caution, as we do it for the opening of every race, and usually around the midpoint if fans are requested. But this is still kind of the opening, don't you think? I mean, we're only 3 laps in, working lap 4, and it's all been under caution.
Yeah. So we're going to try it again here this time. Lights out on the Mustang. Garrett Maines going to turn it loose in the Toyota. Going to try this one more time here at Daytona. Coming to a green flag. Barney gets it displayed. We're racing once again at Daytona. Let's try it again. We made it to turn 2 this time as another incident occurs up there near the back of the field. Maybe we're just jinxing them by shutting the mics off here in this one. The 81 of Peacock involved in this one. Let's take a look at what happened. That may have actually been Polini. That may have been the 51 with all the damage. We'll have to take another look at it. Yeah, contact right there. Yeah, that's Polini in the 51, I believe.
Who the question is the 30? Robert Sewell, I believe that is in the 30s. We'll take a look here. And again, watch the 30. The 30, I'm not sure what in the world was going on here. Pete Polini right behind him. I don't see any contact at this point. And you're watching, again, that iRacing number 30 machine as he's on the bottom. And then he just drives into the 51, hits him again, and just drives up and hits him a third time and just puts him into the wall. So, we don't judge, but as to who it is, who's at fault. That's admin's job, but definitely some aggressive driving potentially coming from the 30 there of Robert Sewell.
Yeah, we saw him get his left sides below the double yellow there going off into the turn. So that kicked him up into Polini the first time. But yeah, the rest of them, I don't know what happened there as Polini tried to save it. Unfortunately, it just nosed into the wall, collected a couple other trucks. So we're under caution once again here for the second time in about, what would you say, half a mile?
Yeah, we started that one to start lap 5, so again, we made it a little bit further, but 2 cautions in 6 laps, and I'm utterly shocked that everyone's coming down pit road.
And especially with the fact that they only have 4 sets of tires available to them, 3 on pit road, so they're going to burn a set of tires that has roughly
I bet you
500
money,
feet of racing. I bet you money a lot of this is just fuel only, because remember, there is this caveat that they are only allowed 50% fuel capacity, and it looks like that is the plan, just fuel only here. So definitely makes a lot more sense seeing them do that than what we were initially thinking.
And speaking of 6 laps in, 6 drivers not going to come down. That is going to be Chew, Scott Jr., Moda, also Winker, and Twin Am not going to come down, and Green as well. So your top 6 drivers not going to come down pit road. They're not going to take tires or fuel. So definitely the ones that came down, this is a fuel strategy that they're trying to do. I could see this strategy. I'm trying to figure out what the strategy is. I could see maybe a strategy if we were, 20 or 30 laps in and a caution came out, taking fuel only, but only 7 laps in with 50% fuel. I'm not exactly sure how many laps that'll be, but I can imagine they're going to have to stop anyway. And if you're getting a few cautions, or this many cautions, I would have just stayed out.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I can understand what they're thinking with, limited fuel capacity. Try to get as much as you can and try to hang on to that track position. Maine's going to restart here in 7th after leading the way. So not a killing call, but definitely kind of puzzled that they would come this early, especially considering that we've actually only been under green for 2 corners of this race thus far, and we're working lap number 8 right now. Brian Chu leading the way in his number 11 Toyota.
Yeah.
See how this one goes.
And one thing that really, I mentioned it in the pre-show, and that surprises me is the cup cars. I know it. Everybody on iRacing knows that they're notorious for bumper hooks because of the way they align. Chevy, Ford, Toyota. The fronts are all different. The front on these trucks are vaguely similar between the 3 trucks. As we only have a couple of Fords in there, but a lot of Chevrolets and a few Toyotas, but they're basically roughly the same, and they don't have that, but we're actually starting to see more cautions in this race than we did with the other one, which is a little disappointing, to be honest, Greg.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that's going to be addressed moving forward. Next week, I believe we're taking these trucks to the iRacing Super Speedway for our 2nd or 3rd ever broadcast at that track. You were there just last night, or this morning, or yesterday morning, or I don't know what you can classify it as, but it was a long race there at the iRacing Super Speedway for you guys yesterday.
Yeah, 6 hours. At iRacing Super Speedway. I'm good on my fill of iRacing Super Speedway for a while. I like the track. I like iRacing, but 6 hours at it, give me definitely a bit of a long one, but we got through it, and I had to go back to bed afterwards. I think we got done around 2 Central Time, 2:30, and I ended up going back to bed till about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So I definitely had to get some sleep to catch up, so I'd be awake for this race. But we're back under green, and did you see Garrett Maines there? He was way loose down on the bottom of the track.
Trying to just get it going right now, get through this first turn. That is Maines into number 1, trying to get up on the 89 of Twin Am in front of him, going down the back stretch, getting the run on the inside there, but Scott and Chu currently trading the lead back and forth right now. Chu on the inside, Scott on the outside, give it to Chu through turn 3 and 4 this time as they come by. Chu's going to clear him, and now he has his choice of who he wants to go with, Scott or the 82 of Mata, as they come down the line. And we're going to finally complete a lap under green, and Chu is the one who leads it here in the Interstate Batteries Toyota. Getting a push now on the back from Winker is Scott, as he's going to get a run on the outside, but Chu fights back on the inside, and this is what we were expecting to see more of.
Yeah, definitely clean racing. Bumper to bumper is fine. And one thing, everyone that knows about super speedway racing, you do not push in the corners. You can draft, but you do not bumper to bumper push somebody in a corner. And we are seeing exactly what they need to do to keep this thing nice and green. Again, this is straight cash money. So, you got green on the line, so obviously you want to stay green in the race to get as many laps as you can. Obviously, the leader doesn't mind too much if he's the leader, but, these guys behind them that are going 3 wide, again, they don't want to see the caution come out. They want to have a shot to get to the front, and if it's yellow, you're not going to have that shot.
Yeah, if you want to make passes, you got to do it under green. And the way this race got off to its start, I know some of those drivers deep in the field were probably getting pretty frustrated with how it was going. Now that we're able to click a couple of laps away, it could work out better, and we might see a little bit better racing and some better passing. And as we say, we got another big one.
And that was a massive one, and we watched it live, and they're still piling up and collecting more drivers as the 75 squeaks through, but we'll just go straight to the replay. We don't have to change drivers or anything. And you're watching the 18 and the 99 of Rhett Tucker. We'll see exactly what happened. Maybe go to a different view here from the drone from All American Pools, and just right there, just contact and then just wads up the rest of the field.
And you see, and they pile in. We talked about the big one at Daytona, and that's what we talked about. And I'm amazed that other than that one truck that's flapping around there on the hood of Rhett Tucker at the very end there, that may have been Jason Maines if I saw that correctly, but I'm amazed that everyone, for the most part, kept all their tires on the ground there, Charles. That could go into one of the more realistic crashes we've seen in a long time here.
Yeah, and we keep track of the flip count, the roll count, flip count, whatever you want to call it. And so far, I believe we are at 0. But Greg, we knew the big one was coming, but we are on lap 12 of 85. There was no way I expected to see the big one that early. And if we're going to see a big one involving, 8 to 12 car trucks on lap 12, what are we going to see when they really get aggressive come lap, say, 75 to 85?
More of this, cautions. That's what we're going to see. That was a big one here at Daytona's field coming down pit road. Ryan Chu leading the way. I believe this is also going to be fuel only for everybody because, again, we still only have like 3 laps worth of green flag racing on these tires.
Chu's taking tires. This is a shocker
slipped through his pit stall.
Yeah, slipped through his pit stall. Really, really shocked that we're taking tires this early, but right now, don't believe he came down. So no, you do have 4 drivers, that are cycling through here that did not come down. That is going to be Pete Queenie, Taylor Peacock, Scott Hess, and Kevin Holman. Those drivers did not come down. And no surprise, I wouldn't know if I would have come down either. These guys only have 6 laps, probably about 4 there, technically 4 or 5 under green. So again, I don't know if I would have come down and maybe for fuel if that's what you're coming down for, but we saw some taking tires already with about 13 laps on them. And what do you say, probably 5 of those have been under green?
3 or 4.
Yeah, so not many. It'd be an interesting call to see if we could talk to them why they took tires this early in the race, but We still have 73 laps to go. The lights are on. Greg, what do you think we think some of the sponsors real fast?
Yeah, I was just going to actually say the same thing. While we're under our third caution of the day here, we're going to take this opportunity to thank some of the guys who make this possible. Here, you're watching Straight Cash Money, round number 3 from Daytona International Speedway on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Welcome back to Daytona, everybody. We're going to try this again, and Garrett Maines back to the lead in the number 1, as it looks like everybody who stayed out there elected to take tires. Everybody who stayed out under that first pit stop took tires to get themselves set up for this one. Maines leading the way in the 1, as we saw Polini come down pit road right at the start. He's got his old buddy Navarro right behind him. As the green flag falls, we're back underway at Daytona, and Andrew Navarro going to fall right in front of Twin-Am, and here we go. We're hooked up once again. Garrett Maines and Andrew Navarro. We've seen these two have a dance or two before here on LSRTV.
Yeah, we definitely have, and we'll see if Navarro tries to serenade Maines with more of his singing. We may have to have him do some singing just to keep tempers down, maybe calm the mood a little bit at the start of this race on how it's gone. Again, I believe third caution here in 15 laps, but they're going to go single file now. And to be honest, Greg, single file out, I think this is probably the safest move for these guys right now, is to just single file freight train it for a good 15 or 20 laps, and just fill each other out, fill the race out, because obviously the way it was going before just was not working.
I think what we're seeing here is you see Navarro go to the outside of Maines, and that I don't think is going to work, and he might get freight trained. There's traffic in front of them as well. That's guy's about to go a lap down. Navarro's in trouble, stuck on the outside there, and almost gets together with Twin-Am. But I think what we saw was something we've talked about with the series. You're seeing drivers from all different backgrounds here on the iRacing server. I mean, you got Maines, Critchley, Navarro. They cut their teeth on the short track scene here on iRacing. You've got guys who focus on the trucks. You've got guys from a dirt background in this series. So you've got guys from all different disciplines of racing all throwing them together at Daytona. That's something that can lead to disaster if you're not careful with it, and unfortunately we've seen that here in the early stages of this race. We hope the worst is behind us now, but Maines and company are catching up to lap traffic, and Navarro's kind of in an interesting spot here because now they're going to split. As you see Maines try to split up the middle, he's going to get through one truck in the wall there. Didn't see who that was.
That was the 5, a Rusty Modesty.
And then that's Eric Fulton in front of them. Fulton in the 7 is not the race leader. The battle for the lead is between that 89 truck and the 1 on the outside of Twin-Am and Maines. Fulton trying to stay on the lead lap right now as Navarro and Maines hooked up on the outside. Winker behind them. Then you got Mata and Chu behind them. Here comes Maines on the outside. What does Fulton do? Yes, he has every right to try to stay on the lead lap, but we got problems. No, they save it.
Wow.
Maines is going to come by and was going to say going to lead the lap, but Twin-Am able to get by and lead the lap this time in the 89.
And that
The run
was
on the outside.
That was lucky that the 89 Twin Am did not make more contact with Garrett Maines in that one machine. Had that contact been a lot worse than we thought it was going to be, that would have wadded up the entire field, because you can imagine the 89 would have, where he hit him, would have spun the 1 into the 7, which would have bottlenecked the entire field, probably collecting the 2, the 82, the 26, the 11, and a whole host of cars behind him. So whether you want to say it's the 89 let off a little bit or some fantastic driving from Garrett Maines, either way, they both do a good job of saving the entire field from the big one. Number
It's
2.
a combination of both there that time. By Maines leads the lap that time as he's hooked up again with Navarro on the outside. Look who else has made his way up into the picture here, Charles. Brad Wilson in that black and yellow 26 on the outside. Last week's winner at Michigan creeping up into the picture as well. He only led 1 lap at Michigan last week, and it was the most important one, so he's up there in the mix. Now, if you're Twinham right now trying to get around Maines, but Fulton's right there in front of him, what's going through your mind as you try to get the push on Fulton there? And what's going through your mind in the 89 truck right now?
Yeah, if I'm that 89, I'm not sitting too happy with Derek in that 7. I want him to work with me a little bit more, and he's doing it right now. So as long as he's willing to work with me, I'm happy, because it's going to give my row a little bit more, but it's not working too much. The more trucks that decide to go up to the outside, it's eventually going to push him up, and the problem is there's no room for the 89 to get up to the outside lane. If he had room, he could squeeze up there and be fine, because then he could just follow in line and eventually get back by Garrett Maines. But that's there's just not a spot to move up, so he's kind of stuck right there in a pickle between the 7, the 1, and the 82. He's just sandwiched in.
Right there, he was able to get a nice push on Fulton down the backstretch, which got his nose in front of Maines, but Maines really strong on the outside through the corners as they come across the line. Looks like Maines is going to lead this lap. So with Wyndham right now, he's in that draft with Fulton. It's not really messing him up at all as he's up there in position. The problem is he wants to get up there and lead this race, and again, a nice move there going into the corner by Wyndham. Now watch and see, you see him back off a little bit there down the backstretch. And now let's see what he does here with Fulton. As you see, he's going to close in, give him a little bit of a bump right there, go off into turn number 3.
Greg, to be honest with you, if anybody is a little scared right now, I would. And Garrett Maines can't see it. The 82 can see it. If I was the 82, the 1, the 2, even the 11 or the 26, those are the trucks that I'd be a little, I'd be on edge right now if I can see that 89 of Twin Am. Yeah, he's doing a good job at controlling that truck so far, but watch him, you'll see him, he'll dip below, and you'll see the truck get a little squirrely as he has dipped below that yellow line multiple times, and you can see the truck get a little wiggly, and it kind of pops on him a little bit when it comes back up. That is, you do that too many times and you lose control. That's a recipe for disaster. So you got to be really careful. And like right there, that's the kind of stuff that, makes me need a new fire suit if I'm the 82 right now.
And Fulton now going to pick up Garrett Maines on the outside. So now Twinham's going to have a lane on the inside if he can get a run and some help from Mata in the 82. By the way, you saw him getting by a lap traffic as well. They were able to get by, I believe that was the 24 of Travis Paul. They were able to get by. Maines now able to clear with Navarro. So Fulton leading this pack, but the race leader is the driver who's second in line right now. Talking about that number 1 of Garrett Maines, with Navarro and Twinham behind them. Fulton right now tucked on in front of them, trying to stay on the lead lap, and if he gets a caution, then he'll be able to catch a break and come around to the back of the field. But right now I think he's inclined to just ride it out there and stay on the lead lap. Garrett Maines, the race leader, in the 1, Navarro in second, as they continue to try to click laps away here at Daytona.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that, we've mentioned it. We haven't mentioned it in this series, but I do it a lot, and I refer to positions. Garrett Maines has the position spot. However, if you look at Derek Fulton, he has the realty spot.
Yeah, Fulton right now, he's just doing what he can to stay on the lead lap. And him and Garrett Maines have respect for each other. They race with each other quite a bit. So I think Maines is not too concerned about trying to put Fulton a lap down right now. I think Maines is totally fine with just riding it out right now. Because, again, it is Daytona. It's not a end of the day here if lap traffic's in front of you. As long as you're in a draft, you're okay. And it looks like Fulton's able to keep a steady line there on the inside, so looks like that's not really affecting it. As long as a lap truck in front of you is holding his line, which Fulton's doing a fantastic job of that, I don't think that Maines and Navarro and company are going to be too frustrated with it right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Nobody's going to be too frustrated. Now you come down the lap 80 and these guys are trying to battle for the lead, and you have this scenario coming in right here. Garrett Maines not going to be too thrilled with the 7 if it costs him the win. But again, super speedway racing is a lot about who you know as well and who you're friends with out on that track. If this was the case coming to lap the final lap to finish lap 85, I would be willing to bet that the 7 of Derek very well may slide up to block that outside lane for Garrett Maines. They're not teammates, but they are friends. And those friends can help you out, especially if he has no shot at winning this. He's a lap or 2 down. They can block that outside lane for you. Prime example, unfortunately, led to his death. But, Dale Earnhardt Sr., he was blocking so that his son and Michael Waltrip, one of his good friends, could win the race.
We've seen that several times over the course of Daytona. You see guys throwing blocks to go on defense and help out teammates, hooking up at the end as Navarro getting a run on the outside. Garrett Maines in the 1 trying to hold on to the lead, but Navarro trying to take a peek on the outside. He's hooked up a Twin M now in the 89. Mata had a little bit of a scary moment as well there. The lap before, coming off turn number 2 right here, he squeezed up and almost got in the Twin M. Brian Chu beginning to close in as well. Winker back there as well. 54, Curtis Critchley, someone we haven't mentioned yet. Critchley knows how to get it done in trucks at Daytona. He's won truck races here in the past at Daytona, so he knows what to do in his number 54 to get it done. Watch for him looking for a big win here in the Straight Cash Money Series. Another one of those teammates to Derek Fulton and company there, Curtis Critchley, another driver from north of the border, so he can make some noise here at the end of this race.
Yeah, he definitely going to make noise. And, a shot there. The 3 gets to his back bumper, the 82, just a little bit. And the 82 of Clint Mata gets a little bit of loose, and that's going to put a little bit of separation between the top 3.
And some connection issues on Twin M. A little bit of a blink there from the number 89 as well.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that here at Super Speedway Plate Racing, but look how fast. You see those top 3, they get a little bit of a breakaway because of that little bump there and a little loose from the 82, but look how quickly they've managed to reel them back in. Just goes to show you that how important the draft is, and we got a couple coming down here. This is 15 laps into this run, and these guys are coming down to pit road, 3 of them at least, as it's gonna be
more coming. Woo-wee. Those boys have to check up
behind these guys. And yes, when you say more, there is a ton of them coming down.
Almost the entire second half of the field is coming in here.
Yeah, and this is interesting because we know they can go. They have 50% fuel, but we know for a fact they can go more than 16 laps on fuel, or 15 laps, sorry. That is not how many, and these guys are taking fuel and tires, some of them, others just taking fuel. But Garrett Maines on lap 16, coming to lap 17 now, and he's coming down.
There they come.
Interesting call here. These guys are coming down, and we'll see what these leaders do. Fuel or fuel and tires, as it was a mixed bag of nuts back there with the last group. Some took tires, some didn't.
think we're going to see more of the same here with this group. Remember, 50% fuel capacity, but only 3 sets of tires on pit road to start the race, bringing pit strategy into the mix here. We'll watch Garrett Maines in the number 1 and see what he does. Fuel going in the car. He is going to take tires on the 1.
And looking back, and you see some of these guys are already getting off pit road as well. We look, Twin Am has not been down yet, but Polini, fuel only, 7.9 seconds. Could that be left side or right side tires, but no, and fuel?
7.9, that could be right side tires maybe, but I think that was a fuel only, I had to guess, because you don't want to remember, just because you only took 2 tires does not mean you still have those left side tires. No, a 2-tire pit stop counts an entire set of tires there, so I don't think Polini would burn a set of tires just on a right side tire change. Maybe, but I don't know. We'll have to go back and maybe see, because I'm wondering if Maines did the same thing.
He, for sure, Maines did. We saw the right side tires go up. Those came off, but his pit stop was only 10.7 seconds. An average stop 15 to 16, or actually about 13 to 16. So we know those left side tires did not come off. He was fuel and right sides only for Garrett Maines.
That's a very interesting call. I'm not so sure I agree with that call for 2 tires. Maybe they know something we don't, but man, with maybe if we had unlimited tires on pit road like we see with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series that runs on Mondays and Thursday nights. Remember, we have a little bit of an update on the Northwest Truck Championship race that we'll discuss here in just a moment once we finish this. But if we had unlimited tires like they do, yeah, I could try right side tires. I mean, look how many times Sean Brightsman won a race because of it this year on his championship season in the Cup Series that he locked up the championship with this past Monday night. How many of those were on 2-tire pit stops late? But on a tire limit race, I'm not so sure that's something that I'd be willing to take a risk on.
Yeah, I don't know. And you know, the one factor we have to keep coming back to is money. That's all that's on the line here is straight cash money, which is the name of the series, of course. So, you know, these guys, some of these guys, let's be honest, someone like Garrett Maines, he wants the money. He could also be using, you know, this as a, practice. See what it'll do for official stuff. Okay, if I take just right side tires, what's it going to handle like? Yeah, someone like him, he could be doing that. Some of these other guys, they could be doing it as well, but we know he's going pro, so he wants to do some testing as well. But another thing, too, this has been the longest green flag run we have had in this race. So these guys either calmed down a little bit or race control gave them a stern talking to during that last caution.
Either way, looks like it worked, whatever it is, as we see now Maines and Polini battling for the lead. So Pete Polini able to get up there with some pit strategy, and that's big for Polini after being caught up in that early incident. Look who else has joined the fray. I'm talking about the 45 of Alan Dobbs, who was up in position to get a win at Michigan last week, leading laps, trying to get up there, was battling with Navarro, was battling with Maines. Looked like at the end it was going to come down to Navarro and Dobbs, but late race contact at the white flag relegated them both outside of the top 5. Led to Bradley Wilson stealing the victory, but when the white flag flew, it was between Dobbs and Navarro, and here they are both up in the top 5 again, but the rest of the field closing in a hurry, and they're led by Osborne and Twin M right now. Yeah,
they are catching them or caught them in a hurry, as you can see them right there. And you hinted at something earlier about that upcoming race. Of course, we are off tonight. We do not have the normal Northwest tour for our Sunday night, so we're off this week for there. We're off Monday, Tuesday. We come back Wednesday for the S&B Cup Series. And Thursday, we will have some dirt midgets here for you, myself and you, in the booth for that. But Thursday night, when you would see the championship night for the Northwest Truck Series, it is off. And then you're wondering, no, it should be championship night. Well, due to some drivers not being able to make it, they have pushed that race, as you mentioned, to Monday, the 25th. So where you might see normally the Cup Series on Monday, we had our season finale last Monday, so they're going to move the Truck Series to Monday at 11 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we opted to keep our normal Monday crew, so you'll be there, Justin, along with Wesley Allen on pit road. So should be an interesting one for the first time, Justin getting to cover the truck series.
Yeah, looking forward to that one for sure. And you might be wondering, well, I mean, these drivers knew the schedule. Why would they not be able to make it? Here's the problem. One of those drivers who was not able to make it is one of the championship contenders in the Final Four. We're not sure which one it is, but one of the championship four would not be able to compete here this Thursday night. So in the interest of fairness and making sure that the drivers have a shot at championship that earned it, they have moved it to Monday, a night that everybody is available for. So going to be definitely interesting having the trucks on a Monday next week.
Yeah, and keep in mind, if you don't follow that series a whole lot, part of the whole reason that this is even having to take place is because we had an update on iRacing, and it conjobled some things, makes some stuff not work as it's supposed to, and if that race had not got postponed, that did, and we had to go back a week or two, we would already be done, and he would have been able to make the race. So probably had some plans already made, couldn't make it. But that's the reasoning behind that. Otherwise, we would have already been done, wrapped up with the season, and getting ready for season 8 and season 2. But it just didn't work out that way, so we're going to go do it on Monday.
Well, season 2 prep has already begun for the Northwest Cup Series. Hearing rumors perhaps of possibly some additional Northwest races, maybe in the off season or maybe a couple exhibitions going on later, but hearing rumors that there may be even more Northwest Racing Series action next year on LSRTV. Well, this year I should say, and more coming at it as well. The Northwest Tour, which is off tonight, but they'll be in action next week. A lot of stuff from the Northwest coming up here in the next couple of months. And so,
and a shameless plug for our own league. Well, for the moment anyway, of course, make sure you keep an eye on Facebook and keep an eye on the website. Once we get it up, we're going to be moving it over. It's currently up at Upper Edge Racing, our own league. We got some stuff in the works for there too, so make sure you check that out. It's going to be a premier short track series in dirt. Anything from super late models, modifieds on dirt and asphalt. A lot of big things coming there for Upper Edge Racing.
Yeah, we had a good talk about plans for Upper Edge here before we went on the air tonight. Looking very forward to seeing what we can cook up here in the Upper Edge kitchen, I guess we can call it, to see what comes up here. And I know we're going to be putting out the word, and hopefully we get a lot of drivers that you're familiar with on LSR TV. I know we got quite a few drivers in this race that have already said, hey, we'll come run it, and we have our eyes on a couple of more that we want in this race right here. So hopefully we get to see these guys burning it up on the short track and the Upper Edge ranks before too long, because we're going to be sending some invites out to these drivers for sure if they have impressed us. And right now I'm very impressed with what these guys have been able to do, settling it down now after a shaky start. They've really done a nice job settling things down here.
Yeah, they have done an amazing job of settling it down. And again, we went about 16 laps before they came down pit road, and we've done another 20. So we've been 26 laps. Green a flag here. Again, that is the longest stint we've had so far. We're on lap 40 with 46 to go. Greg, we're almost at the halfway point already now.
Yeah, we are closing in. Halfway is going to be about 2 or 3 laps from now. As remember, it's 85 laps the distance tonight. Unique lap count. We haven't really seen an 85 lap count here on LSR TV before. So halfway going to be roughly lap 42 to 43. We'll call lap 42 the halfway point in this one. I think that sounds the fairest for it all. Ooh. As Polini's going to lead this lap. But yeah, they're getting slicey and dicey back there as they know it's almost getting ready for go time here.
Yeah, and I believe that was Hess. Scott Hess came down pit road, missed the stall, had to back up. Excuse me. But 85 laps, that's 211 miles. I have done many races here at Daytona, and typically they're either 80 or 100. You don't see anything in between. It's either 80 or 100. So interesting there, but 85, a interesting call for sure. But regardless of that, again, we're about 3 laps away from the halfway point. And again, green flag pit stops look to be underway for a couple of drivers, and I would expect to see the rest of this field here down in about 4 laps or so. The question is, who are you coming down with? Who are you going to work with? Those people you work with now could be your friend later. They could leave you high and dry later either way. So you got to pick your friends wisely.
Yeah, straight cash money on the line here. We're working lap number 42. So we're just about halfway here. So when we get back to the line, we'll call it the halfway point here of this one, and we will go against our better judgment based off how we started this race off. But as I come off turn number 4, we're going to go side by side. You won't miss it if something happens, but we're going to take a break. Thank one of our great partners here at LSRTV. Maines and Bellini battling for the lead. Drivers beginning pit stops. Hopefully we'll be back in time as you're watching the Straight Cash Money here on LSRTV.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything, hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. You can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers and stuff. So you can just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. And if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. Everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. It's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum, requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Yeah, we should have known. We turned the mics off and something happens. Here, under caution, you saw the replay, the swag replay there while we were thanking our sponsors. Another big accident right up at the front. This collected quite a few contenders for the win, including Pete Polini. But the mainstays that we've seen up front here in this series, Maines, Navarro, and company, they all squeaked through that as they're on pit road once again. Garrett Maines only taking left side tires here in the number 1.
Interesting. This makes me wonder, Greg. We've always known if you take rights, it counts as a full set. Have they changed it to where you can take rights and then lefts and they count as one set at this point?
I'm wondering that as well, because it has been that way ever since I can remember being on iRacing, and I know you've been on it a whole lot longer than I have, so it's always been that way as far as I knew, as far as right side tires counting as a full set. Wondering if they did change that and we just didn't get the memo on that.
Yeah, I will have to get a hold of someone that is on the track a little bit more than me, but I'm wondering if that's the case, if you can take just rights or just left, and they do count as a half a set and not a full set, because obviously if that's not the case and they do count as a full set, Garrett Maines just wasted 2 of his sets as he gets a shot in the rear end from the 18.
Ooh. get up to speed here, and unfortunately just bottlenecking the field. But that's going to be big on Garrett Maines because now he's got some damage on the back of that truck, and this is a very, very, very aero sensitive track.
Yeah, right there, just boom, just gives him a shot in the rear end.
Maines is not happy about it.
No, I wouldn't be either. So we'll take another quick look at that, and you see Garrett Maines getting back on track, gets into place, and we're trying to see, did the 18, did he speed up? And he did. He just speeds up and runs into the back of the one.
Hey, not sure what's going on there.
Not sure either. Like you said, I can promise you right now, the one of Garrett Maines not happy with the 18 machine, and trying to figure out where the 18 is. That is Rob Green. He is a lap car. He is right now currently 1 lap down, so not even in a position to be up at the front. He should be rotating to the back. So it's one thing if your competition gives you a shot in the shorts and possibly crinkles up the back car. But when a lap car does it, that's I can promise you right now, Rob Green not going to be on the Christmas list for Garrett Maines.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here because now Maines has that problem or damage on the back that's really going to affect his ability to be drafted with behind him. I won't say ability to draft. I'm going to say drafted with because that's going to affect him as the lead car because now, example, Curtis Critchley behind him, now he's not going to be able to get up there and hook on as well as he would be able to earlier in the race. Jason Maines is up there in fourth, Garrett's father. I'm wondering if Maines is back there reporting to Garrett what the car or the back of the truck looks like right now because Maines has a pretty good view of it. Talking about Jason Maines, of course, that second blue truck right there. Jason's got a pretty good view of the back bumper of Garrett's car. So I'm betting you that he is in communications with Garrett's team to make sure everything's good to go.
Yeah, he definitely is. We'll see how that damage slows him down, but yeah, if a driver is behind you see that damage too, not only does it affect you, it's going to affect you, but drivers behind you know it's going to affect you too, and they're not going to want to work with you as much because they know that it's going to hinder their performance. So we'll see who his friends are that become very shy, like, I don't know if I want to work with you anymore.
And with Daytona, the longer the race goes, the fewer friends you have. We've seen that many times here on LSRTV in the past. Will tonight be any different?
Yeah, that is the key. Will it be any different? And trying to do some research here and see. And I'm wondering, Greg, we did have that update not too long ago where they limited your tires, where you can actually set a limit of tires that you can take. And I'm wondering if potentially in that update I didn't read every fine detail of it. Maybe in that update that we got, there was some coding put in there to where they can actually take left and right and it not count as a full set.
I'm wondering the same because we haven't heard otherwise, but the fact that Garrett Maines is able to take lefts only there makes me wonder if that is indeed the case. We'll have to get in touch with our friends on the technical side of iRacing to see if we can get that cleared up here. As the pace car is in, a little bit past halfway. We're going back green with 38 laps to go as we take the green.
Yeah, 38 laps to go, just past halfway, and we'll have to get someone that uses tire limits a little more. Possibly maybe if Jeff Stabnow's out there watching. I know he sets a lot of events up for the Northwest, so maybe he can inform us on that. But Garrett Maines still out front. He's got Navarro on his outside, Critchley on his back bumper, and of course the 35 of the other Maines, that is Jason Maines, out there as well. So this will be interesting to see how the two Maines, father and son, how quickly do you think they'll hook up together? And how do you think they're going to work this? Will he work with his dad or his son, even though that truck potentially not in the running here with that damage.
Well, I think if you're Garrett, that's who you want hooked up with you is your dad, because you know your dad's going to be right there helping you out with that. And you know your dad's going to be careful with that damage to see what it's going to do. If you're Garrett, you want to be hooked up with your dad right now, because you know he's going to do what he needs to do to make sure nothing happens, and he's going to be able to get you the information that you need that maybe he wouldn't be able to get from Critchley, who's behind him right now.
Yeah, and checking in real fast on the radio communications to check in on this and see something really quick, and see if I do see. And at this time, I don't see Navarro or Critchley unless they're in a different room. I don't see them on radio communications together, or Garrett Maines. So this will be interesting to see if they are in communication with each other via the race chat in iRacing or other avenues, but so far it doesn't look like it. So that is something you have to know, is who's communicating with who. And right now it doesn't look like any of these guys other than in iRacing are communicating with each other.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting with communications, especially going forward here. Remember back in the days of the Car of Tomorrow and when the 2-car tango was at its peak, the drivers had a little dial on their dashboard that they could just flip the switch to talk to 15 or 16 different cars, and it was just whoever they were hooked up with, they had a little dial that they could just switch over. Not the same here on iRacing. You have everybody in the same basic channel, but you can also hook it up to where you're in communications with whoever you want to be and no one you don't want to be with. But not seeing anyone that we know of for sure hooked up. I mean, you obviously know the Maines guys are going to be working together. You know that the CGE guys are going to be in communications with each other. They're all hooked up on the radio somewhere. Question is, though, who else is hooked up with whom? Because that's going to be what ultimately determines this at the end.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be deciding how it all does work out. Again, they're going nice and easy. We saw a long green flag run, a little bit of more single file racing. Now that we're past halfway point, 35 laps to go. So we're going to make it 34 laps to go right there. They're starting to double file up again. Does this mean we're going to start seeing those cautions again? And if we do, how many do you think we're going to see? Do you think we're out of the woods here for another big one, or is that coming here probably with the last 10 laps to go?
You are never out of the woods for the big one until the cars are parked on pit road. And I say that because we have seen the big one strike after the checkered flag falls before. When they're going off into turn one on the cool-off lap, we've seen it happen. So you are never out of the woods for the big one until your car is parked. You are out of the car with an ice-cold beverage in your hand. Your helmet is off. The car's engine is shut off. That is when you're free of the big one here.
Definitely. Yeah, until you have us talking to you, you might as well consider yourself in jeopardy of the big one. As right now, a very good run if you're the CGE, I believe it is, racing. You've got Maines, Navarro, Critchley, and another Maines. Of course, the two Maines, technically part of Smithfield or Elliott Sadler Esports, but they work with Navarro and Critchley event, and they're right there running up at the front. You also have Dobbs there, who you mentioned was doing a good job. Stephen Gregory up there as well. So a lot of good names up in the front of this race, and keeping it nice and clean and green here for the moment. Hunter Parsons, you mentioned him. He's sitting back in 8th place. He's working his way through this field trying to get the win as well.
Nice job by Parsons in the 00. He has been very impressive. He's one of those dirt background guys. Charles Will Duvall, who's done some work in the past for us on LSRTV, not anymore, as he is elected to pursue other avenues. But he mentioned to me at the first race, Hunter Parsons is one of his favorite drivers to work with. So he loves racing with Hunter Parsons on dirt. Seeing Parsons here on the big tracks, though, has really impressed me so far. He's one of those guys that I want to see tear it up in Upper Edge once we get going.
That'd be awesome to see him over there. And you can tell he's a dirt racer just by his number 0P. You don't see letters mixing with numbers and until you get into the dirt side of things. And he has it here, so that's always a tall tale sign that somebody has a little bit of dirt. And looks like we have Travis Paul in the 24th, back in 30th, coming to pit road right now, and we're getting there. We're 10 laps in right now, 15 for some guys at the back, so pit stops probably here in the next 5 to 6 laps. And now I'm beginning to see why these guys were coming down to 15 laps or so, is this is going to put us at one more stop, which means when they come down here in about 5 laps, actually that one won't be so, unless they're just pitting there. If we pit in 5 laps, 6 laps, Greg, they should probably be able to push it to the end. So this next stop could be the money stop.
It very well could be. But again, we always have that threat of a caution. And the way this race started, bet you these guys are thinking that in the back of their head. We probably haven't seen the last caution here tonight. That's what these drivers are probably thinking right now, to set themselves up for that run to the finish. Pit stops we're expecting about 5 laps or so, but a lot can happen in 5 laps, especially at Daytona.
Yes, an astronomical, a lot of stuff can happen. They are jockeying for position quite a bit back here. Towards the latter half of the top 10. You're looking at this is about 8th through 10th, 12th, 15th back there. They're just as they're battling just as hard as the front of this field. So you really have a good battle going on. As we'll take a look from the drone view here, and there you have it. That's what we're about 10 rows too deep of cars. So nobody really pressing issues, but they're not really taking it too easy either. They're just kind of in limbo between, pushing it and not pushing it.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job to keep it steady right now, especially after the start of this race, where we saw 2 accidents within the first 2 corners of green flag racing. So it was definitely a wild start to this one. Oh, one truck in the wall. I believe that was the 24 of Paul that hit the wall as we coming down. We're inside 30 laps to go now, by the way. There's another truck going a lap down, the 24. That is Travis Paul, so not sure who that was that hit the wall just before him.
That was a 33 of Jeff Snyder, lap down trying to get out of their way.
He just went up a little bit too high there, but we were able to stay green in this one. You know what has impressed me? The fact that Garrett Maines has been able to keep the number 1 up front with that damage on the back of the number 1 on the tailgate. So he's been impressing me that he's been able to stay up there, and not even with his father pushing him. He's been being pushed by Critchley. So Critchley working with him probably recognized the fact that, hey, Garrett's got some damage, and when you're in a draft with a driver like that, that affects you too. So Critchley doing what he has to do to stick with Garrett. Navarro and Jason Maines hooked up on the outside. One truck breaking loose on the back end there and going for a ride. Didn't see who it was, but someone went for a slide over in turn or on the front stretch and spun down. We stay green. It was driver near the back. Didn't catch the number of who it was, but someone went for a spin right there. It was Peacock in the 81, I do believe.
Yeah, and he coming down pit road. He's just going to go ahead and come down and no, not going to thinking it's ours. He's going to drive through, but there you go. Right as we step away, Andrew Navarro takes the lead as those two managed to finally get ahead. And I will say, for the 35 of Jason Maines and the 42 or the 2 on the car of Andrew Navarro, it took them quite a bit of time to finally take the lead away.
And Navarro, he's been threatening all day. Has gotten his nose up front a couple of times at the line, but this is his first time he's really got a solid lead over the field. Cut and dry lead right now. Remember, he was so close to a win at Talladega, pushing Garrett Maines to the finish. He's so close to a win at Michigan. He's been right there in the mix both races here so far in this series, and here he is once again coming to 25 laps to go, leading the way here at Daytona with the Maines family behind him. Jason Maines in second, Garrett Maines in third, lap trucks hitting the wall in front of them. And what's Navarro going to do? They're going to have to go below the double yellow line. They will not be penalized there because that was not advancing the position. But wow, that could have got very, very scary there.
Yeah, it could have. And, I'm wondering here, I not so much now. When it first happened, I was thinking, when is the 35 and the 1? When are they going to go up, scoot up and try to make a pass on the 2 of Navarro? There's several reasons why I dropped that thought really quickly. One, there's nobody on that outside lane now. It fizzled out, and then there's nobody to help them go up there. Two, if they were to advance and move up to that outside lane, that's going to put 2 teammates together in Navarro and Critchley. And they're all coming down pit road, like you said.
Yep, here they come. And this is 24 laps to go.
It's going to be interesting if they can make it on fuel here. I would imagine they can go more than 17 laps, so I think this could be the money stop. Then again, we could be wrong too.
Yeah, we got 24 to go. I believe with a 50% fuel capacity, even with that, I think we should be good. They just haven't been doing that yet. Just look at them all come roaring off the pit road. Boy, the big loser there was Garrett Maines. I think Garrett took tires. I think Garrett Maines took a set of tires.
Yeah, take a look and see if we can see if he took tires. As I see, Jason Maines did not. Trying to find Garrett Maines in the running order. There he is. And 10.9. 2 tires for him.
2 tires.
No tires for a lot of people. So this is interesting as your front 4 are going to be coming down at pit road now. And that will give the lead to Stephen Gregory. And sorry, correction, he's on pit road as well. So that's going to cycle around to the 35 of Jason Maines.
Well, once that's all said and done, Jason Maines is going to be the race leader in the number 35. We've seen him here on LSRTV before, but he's under heavy pressure from a couple of trucks as well. Gonna lead the lap, but here comes Brad Wilson into number 26. And no, he did not lead the lap because J.R. Miller, who was coming out of the pits, had already crossed the line. So Maines did not get credit for the lap led yet. Now he's in a battle with Wilson as they finally get around that group. They are now officially the race leaders. We got a 5-truck breakaway at the front.
Yeah, 5 car, and it makes you wonder how long it's going to be till that second little group manages to catch up. It's going to be led by this group right here in Christian Sanford, followed by Hunter Parsons, Critchley back there as well. Pete Polini's in it. Looks like we have the 89 in this group as well. So a few driver, of course, Ryan Twinham in the 89. He is not on the lead lap. He's 1 lap down. But just because you're a lap down doesn't mean you don't have a fast car. Just circumstances can happen. So it'll be interesting to see how that second group catches the first and what happens when they do.
And Twinham is the lucky dog right now, and he's got a pretty sizable gap over the next truck in line for that, which is Rhett Tucker in the 99. So if a caution were to come out now, Twinham would be sitting pretty because he is in the lucky dog by about half of the backstretch over the number 99 of Tucker, who is the next in line for that. So he could be sitting in a nice spot if the caution were to come out here late, as Hallman going to come down pit road right in front of the leaders. Navarro's going to get the lead back from Brad Wilson, hooked up with Garrett Maines. And like you just asked, Sanford and company have caught this group and they are roaring on the outside. Maines and Navarro both able to clear Wilson. Navarro leads, but Sanford now hooked up with Critchley and Polini on outside.
Yeah, it's a good battle going on here. Again, it'll be interesting to see how it all works out for everybody. Again, it's plate racing. You never know who's going to walk away with the victory. But again, right now it is Navarro, Maines, and Maines really came back with a little bit of vengeance there. He was, 4th or 5th, and came back to the lead, and they're 2nd place now, fixing to take the lead very quickly as they're coming to the line. And how soon is he going to dive down and take that lead? For sure, but he will lead that lap, and he's not quite clear enough to come all down.
And Navarro able to get back to the bottom. Navarro's hooked up with Wilson right now. Maines has Sanford behind him. all about who you want to draft with here. We saw Wilson and Navarro do a little bit of working together at Michigan last week, which has really turned in, Charles, when the Cup cars are at Michigan like we were last week. Michigan has turned into kind of a third plate track here on the iRacing server with the way the racing goes with that aero package on the Cup cars. It's again Snyder getting up into the wall trying to get out of their way. But yeah, Michigan has turned into almost a plate track with the way the aero package works on those Cup cars, and we saw Wilson and Navarro work together a little bit last week. Here they are hooked up again here late in the race at Daytona.
Yeah, they are hooked up racing together. And Christian Sanford, you know, we mentioned him a little while ago. He is right now sitting in the lead. He was second. He came barreling out of the pits a little while ago, and he also took, no, he has 4 tires, 26.3 seconds. Or sorry, 7.9 was actually in his stall. So he may have possibly taken 2 tires, but fuel only. But either way, came out of there in a hurry. He's your race leader right now. The further we get into this run, how much do you think these tires are going to affect for the people that didn't take any or just 2?
I think the longer the run goes, the more those extra help on the right sides is going to come into play here. I think the longer the run goes, the 2 tires will begin to find their way up front more and more and more. We're already seeing that now as Navarro and Maines took 2 tires on that one. Polini up here with Twin Am. Twin Am's a lap down. Here's Parsons in the mix as well. Critchley has gotten around Sanford. Critchley now hooked up with Navarro again as they push down the backstretch. So this is all coming together here, slowly but surely coming together, and now we've got ourselves what we believe to be our pack for the finish.
Yeah, this is what we believe to be the pack for the finish. Again, who's going to be ahead of this pack is up for debate. As you know, I know we got quite a few people out there tuning in. This is your chance to pick your who you think's going to be the winner. I'm not going to speculate as to who it's going to be, but I can tell you this: it's probably going to be someone in the top 15. It could be Navarro, Maines, Critchley, Polini, who now is in the top 3, Sanford, Parsons, Wilson, the other Maines, Dobbs. Any of these guys could potentially be the winner, as we're going to be coming up on 15 to go here very shortly, 17 to go right now. And that shot in the shorts that was given to Garrett Maines, obviously not affecting him as much as we thought it would.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not even going to begin to speculate on who I think is going to win this race, but definitely think that it is going to be someone up in this pack if we stay green. It's 10 trucks for position, all the way back to the 3 of Winker as the last truck for position in this group. It's 7 seconds back to the second group, led by J.R. Miller with Clint Mata and Michael Anthony and company in there as well. Rhett Tucker, who's a lap down, trying to just fight his way up to be the lucky dog if something happens, but he's got a lot of work to do because Twin M is up here with his nose up at the front in this one. Maines and Navarro side by side again. Not even going to begin to speculate on who's going to win this race as we're coming to 15 laps to go. Jeff Snyder has parked it on the trailer, done for the night in the number 33. He's the 3rd driver out of the race. Hard to believe that we took the green flag and we still have 34 of 37 trucks left with 15 to go.
Yeah, it is amazing. And what's amazing about how many we have left is where we started. This race, again, from the cautions, we had 3 cautions within about 12 laps. And now to know we are 15 to go and we've only had about 5 total. They really have cleaned it up and had a good race. And I'm still waiting to see if and when Garrett Maines is going to dip down to the bottom, or do you think he may opt to stay up on the high side and kind of control that outside lane all the way to the finish?
All depends on if he can get down in front of Navarro or not. It's not a matter of does he want to, it's a matter of can he. I think if he can get in front of Navarro, he will definitely go down to the bottom. But here's the thing, we know he loves working with Navarro, but he's not afraid to work with Polini either, and that's who's behind him on the outside right now is Pete Polini. So he's got 2 very experienced drivers that he knows what to expect when drafting with them. Critchley's in there as well, and Critchley's another one of those guys that Maines has raced a lot with here on the short track scene. Now we're seeing them all battle it out at Daytona, something awesome, and I love seeing that here, that we see these guys on short tracks racing together. Now they're all up here in the battle for the win at Daytona. Navarro, though, getting the nose in front. Maines trying to hold them off, though, in that number one. I think if Maines can get down there with Navarro, I think you're going to see him go down in front of him. But Navarro doesn't want that to happen. Navarro wants to be in charge of his own line. So you know Navarro's going to give it all he's got on the inside right now. He's got Critchley behind him. The matter just of, can Maines get a big enough run?
Yeah, I definitely think he's got a shot to do it. Again, there's a lot of guys. There's a little bit of contact from the 89 to the back bumper of the 51 of Pete Blaney. But, you know, I'm really shocked to see the 89 back up there again. At the moment, he is not on the lead lap, but he's right in the mix of things. You know, we saw earlier he was struggling to hold his line. So if you're around him and he's not on the lead lap, do you really want to have him in the mix of things? These guys may be a little leery of that. And, you know, they may try to cut him loose and let him go to the back as quickly as they can.
That's just something that's going to have to be in the hands of the drivers, as Navarro almost was clear of Garrett Maines. He almost had his choice of which lane to go with there, but Maines fights back on the outside, coming to 11 to go this time. Critchley right there in the mix with Navarro. Critchley has won a truck race at Daytona in the past. See what he can get here. Off of turn number 4. One truck coming down pit road, but it is a lap truck. Navarro continues to lead the lap. Maines has just chipped away on the outside. Every corner, Maines has been able to chip away little by little. Now he's on the outside, gets the nose in front in that number 1 Smithfield ESR Toyota Tundra. Talking about Elliott Sadler's Simrate Esports, so ESE, excuse me. Jason Maines hooked up there on the bottom. Lap traffic coming up in front, and they're going to have to split them. And they all get through, but that opened the door for Maines to get down with Polini. That's what Polini needed. He knew he wanted to, and we got problems. Twin them in the wall. Critchley hard in the wall, going upside down, and we've got a caution late.
Yeah, late caution for sure, involving the 89 of Twin Am. Let's take a look here and see what happened on the replay. And you're watching right here. The 5 gets out of the way, and right there again, the 89. We talked about it. We'll go back and take one more look at this from the drone camera and see if we can't get a good shot of it. And I believe the 89 came down just a little bit into Navarro, and right about there you see it again, just not holding his line, gets down, hits Navarro, and collects the field. That's the second time today that the 89 of Ryan Twinham unfortunately has caused a significant wreck.
And unfortunately, he was in the lucky dog position, but he was involved in the start of the caution. That is going to give the lucky dog Taylor Peacock, I believe, in the number 81, as he had gotten around Rhett Tucker. So I believe Peacock will be the driver getting the lucky dog in the number 81, and yep, he's coming around.
It makes you wonder now, so we mentioned, when you've got a lap car that's not on the lead lap, that's decently fast, you know, and I think we may see some trickery here, but no, everyone's coming down. We mentioned it scares you a little bit, so how much, you know, did it scare them? And obviously not too much. They were racing with him, but unfortunately for the 89, he probably going to be out of this race. Navarro, however, didn't get too much damage, so that's good news for him, but Garrett Maines has to back up just a hair.
Do have a fast repair available to them. That is the good news for Navarro. The problem is he had to tow back as we are rolling away. Maines wins the race off pit road. Polini second. Jason Maines is going to be third. He beats Bradley Wilson off just barely. Actually, he beat Alan Dobbs. Wilson, the big loser on pit road, he loses 3 spots in this one. Well, we're under caution, getting set to go to the finish. We're inside 10 laps to go. We're going to take one more quick break to thank one last sponsor, and then when we come back, we'll take you to the finish. Caution is out with 9 laps to go. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss a thing as we get set to go. One last quick break to thank one last sponsor. When we come back, we'll take you to the finish here on LSRTV. Back live at Daytona for the finish here of a wild race at Daytona for straight cash money, 50 to win. To the winner of this one, we're setting up for Garrett Maines versus Pete Molini to the end. This one, but Jason Maines, I believe, is going to be hooked up on the inside with his son. This is big for Garrett because now he's got his father hooked up right behind him.
Yeah, that is definitely a plus. If you've got somebody you know is going to work with you, it makes you almost wonder. We know the Maines father and son duo is going to work together, but is there any pecking order there? Will Garrett Maines say, "Look, Dad, I'm the younger, better version of you. You got to let me win"? Or will he have to fight him if he's got a fast truck here and could potentially win this thing?
So we'll see. Garrett Maines has been the dominant driver for most of the race, but Jason been pretty quiet. Now he's up in a position that he can steal a victory. We've seen Jason and Garrett race a lot on LSRTV. Usually it's Garrett coming out on top. Is tonight the night that Jason says, you know what, I want this checker flag. I want $50. Restart has been waved off as the lights are coming back on the pace car. So we're going to go another lap under caution. Going to be 6 laps to go when we drop the green flag. But yeah, is tonight the night that Jason Maines says, you know what, no, my turn for a checker flag, boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be very very interesting to see how it all plays out. It's always interesting when you get the father-son duo, because you can have the son saying, "Look, you're supposed to be doing things to benefit me, so you gotta let me win." As as the parents take care of the child. On the other flip side, you got the parents out there saying, I gave you life. I can do what I want. So, it's interesting how that dynamic works there. Knowing this dynamic, I have a feeling he would do what he has to do to help his son get the win. But then again, this is not for anything but money. So, there's no, like eNASCAR championship on the line. So all bets could be off.
What's the whole thing fathers like to say to their sons? I brought you into this world. I'll take you out. I think that's what Jason's saying on the mic right now with Garrett. They're working together there, but you think Jason's saying that to Garrett at all right now, saying, you know what? Hey, my turn to win.
Yeah, we could see a variation of that. I brought you into this race. I can wreck you out of it too. I mean, you never know. You never know what's going on in there. And that's not even radio communication. That's probably, I believe they sit next to each other in the room, so they could be yelling at each other from one room to the other. We'll know as we're coming up on 6 to go.
Go, lights off on the Ford Mustang. Have we seen the last caution?
Nah, I don't think so.
Here we go. 6 laps to determine a winner. Here, green flag is out. We are underway for a shootout at Daytona. Jason able to get alongside Pete Polini as Garrett was able to clear. Jason trying to hook up with Garrett on the inside. Dobbs on the outside, hooking up with Polini. Sanford up there. He's been quiet the first half, but been a player in the second half. Dobbs trying to give Polini a push. He's got Wilson there as well, but Wilson thought 3 wide up the middle. Didn't work. They go down the back stretch. Garrett leads.
Yeah, Garrett's out front right now as he has the 55 of Polini right there knocking on his door. He's got the 45. That is Alan Dobbs. Again, we've talked about him a few times here tonight. He's been up front. So is the 28 and the 26 of Sanford and Wilson. Those two have been contenders all night as well. And I think one of these two could potentially give them a run for their money. We'll see. But right now it's all about Pete Polini and Garrett Maines as they're going to be side by side. 5 laps to go, 4 when we get to the line. And, you know, I think go time is right now, you know, is there a go time inside of the go time where you really push it even harder with 5 to go, maybe 2 laps to go?
Go timeception, that's what we call that. And yeah, we're in that now. 5 laps to go at Daytona. You're going. You are not patient anymore. You are going for the win right now. 100% go, go, go. And see what you can come up with here at the end of this race. Garrett Maines leading the way. Got his father hooked up along the tail. But here's Polini on the outside again with help from Alan Dobbs. They were dead even. It was a dead heat. They gave it to Polini at the line, but the margin was 0.000 on the ticker at the line.
Yeah, and it's still very close. You can see right now that you see .033. The margin's so thin it can't even keep up with it. Now it's blank again. We can see clearly that Polini's out front, but again, now it's starting to go in. That gap is so small that even our ticker can't keep up with it at the moment. And then, and that one's going to wad up the field.
And that could be the end for several drivers here, including Garrett Maines. As the rest of the field piles in, they are still wrecking back there. We have one more big one.
And
this is going to take out a lot of trucks.
Yeah, that definitely was the big one. As we'll go to it, and you can see we're going to have to go back just a little bit further to catch this one, and go to the point view. And right here, you'll see the 45 of bumper hooks. Navarro comes down and hits the one of Garrett Maines, and it is on from there.
It's actually Polini in the 51 right there.
Polini, sorry, yeah, that is correct. Right there, just out of the screen. And then this is what happens. The entire field gets collected in it.
Garrett goes for a ride. See another truck going for a ride there. Jason, 35. Entire field gets collected, and now we have an entire different set of circumstances here.
Yeah, and I wanted to look at that one more time. As we'll go back. There's the pile of it. Watch this. I believe that's the 82 that's going to be coming into the picture here in a minute. You'll see it out of the back of the screen. I'm not sure what was going on here. As there you see the pile up. There you see everyone's already wrecked. There's a big pile up, and here comes the 82. Just drives right into someone.
Going for it.
So we'll go back. Let's take one more look at this. I'm going to go back just here. I want to go on board. This is on board with the 82. Well, it's supposed to be anyway. There we go. Now we're on board with the 82 of Mata. And look, this is what is questionable. At this point, they're still going, and the wreck's going to be coming up here in a moment. You know, he could have had a very good position had he just maybe tapped the brakes, and maybe he did. And no. Right there, he lets off the brakes. I'm not sure. Maybe he just didn't realize it was out, but I'm sure the yellow was out by then. It's unfortunate.
I think he saw a hole. He saw a hole and was trying to go for it.
Yeah, he saw something we didn't see, that's for sure, and just went for it full board, full speed, and that did not work out for him. As unfortunately, Talladega Night's a good movie, but doesn't always work out like you see there.
Well, now what? Christian Sanford leads the way, but he has a lot of damage on the back of his number 28 truck. Next up is Nathan Raug in the number 91, who's on pit road getting damage repaired.
Yeah, this is
just about everybody had damage. JR Miller is going to be second in the 78. He's got damage. Molini's on pit road.
Yeah, let's see. Let's just go quick through it. You see, first place got damage. Second place has damage. Third place actually looks fairly clean in the 14 of Darren Hallman. He actually looks like he has a fairly clean truck.
I think he had the fast repair ready.
I think he did too. You go to Scott William Scott Jr. in the 21. It looks like he may have used a fast repair, but very interesting to see that the 28 not using a fast repair. Neither is the 78 of Miller or Sanford. Both of those have quite a bit of damage. Neither one of them opting to use a fast repair, and the light is off on the pace car, so we will go to a green-white checkered, and if I do recall, this should be our first attempt at overtime.
First of three. We have 3 attempts at the green-white checkered, and it's Daytona. All 3 is a very, very valid option. Let's see what happens here at the end of this one. Sanford going to lead him to green. And it's going to be Miller, Hallman, Scott. Bunda will be in 5th position. So an entirely new cast of characters up at the front. Alan Dobbs is 6th in the 45. I don't see a whole lot of damage on his truck. But this entire race is going to be turned on its lid here. Now we have an entire new group of contenders on green-white checkered.
Yeah, like you said, turn completely on its head is the key word here, and I honestly don't know how the final laps of this race are going to go.
Well, we're about to find out. As we come off of turn number 4, set to take the green flag for our first of 3 green-white checkered attempts. Watch those lights on the pace car because I don't see the field all lined up, and restart not being waved off, so it's go time. Here we go. And the 2 fresh trucks behind get a run, and that's exactly what's going to happen as Miller not able to go.
Oh, and the 28 doing some heavy blocking there. That is not going to set well with these guys behind him. You saw the 14 try to make a run with the 21 and the 28. I mean, that was about as blatant of a block as you can get. And here comes the 21, and I would expect the 28 to come up. And yes, he does. He tries to put a block on, and he gets put in the wall because of it.
Yep, and saw that coming a mile away.
Now, this is where you get into some tricky territories. We're going to take a look at the replay and go directly to the drone camera here. And, do you blame it on the 21 for giving him the shot, or the 28 for just blatantly coming up to block? Either one of them.
You're doing what you got to do to win, but the 21 got a shot from behind there. So either way, you can't fault the 21. Yeah, what you got to do, but watch this. I think it's Dobbs who gets a huge run in number 45. There's the block, and then watch Dobbs right there gets a shot to the 21. So either way, nothing Scott could do in the 21.
Yeah, I want to go back and look at that. Take another look at this here, and that's the 45, correct? I want to see. Yes. Go to Robo. Did he actually get contact with him? Yep, right there. There's the contact. It was very subtle contact, too. But yeah, you're right. He did make contact. So it's one of those deals. You can blame the bumper, you can blame the blocker, but either way, the caution does come out, and we go into overtime number 2. This time, the 45 of Dobbs going to be your race leader, and Dobbs has been up there, Jason Maines has been up there, but for the most part, people that have been mired in the back or midfield are the ones that are up front right now.
Yeah. And look who's up to, looks like he's going to be scored in 3rd, possibly 2nd with a fresh race truck. Jason Maines in the 35.
Yeah, this one's gonna get very interesting very quick.
Taylor Peacock up as well. He's going to be in third as Maines is going to be second. So 2 trucks with some fresh race vehicles. And heavy damage on Dobbs in the number 45. This falls right into Jason Maines' hand right now.
Yeah, this one's, and we wondered if, there was any pecking order between father-son of Maines, the Maines household. Now it's not going to matter. It's all up to Jason Maines to try to get the win. And, he's got a fairly clean truck compared to the 45. So I really think if he's going to have a chance, he's got about as good of a chance as anyone else.
This could be Jason Maines' shot. This restart with Dobbs having that damage. What the damage did to the 78 of Miller on that restart. What's going to be here for Dobbs? Here we go again.
Yeah, and we're checking in on chat, social media, stuff like that, and I'm just, you know how as announcers we have jinx sometimes. So we jinx the race, we jinx the driver.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If we get another caution here in this green-white checkered attempt, then I'm going to personally hold our fake Jeff Gordon accountable for it.
Oh, you're talking about the BWC comment I see in the race chat right there?
Yes, a green wreck caution. So if we get another
caution... I'm going to start using that, though.
It is a good catchphrase there. I like it. But if we have another caution, fake Jeff Gordon, we're holding you personally accountable for it because you put it out in chat, so it will be on you if it comes out. However, I do like it.
I like it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it in the future, and any future use accountable will be held towards me. But now that one, we're passing the announcer's jinx off on this one.
Yeah, this announcer jinx is going to the fan jinx. He brought it up. We may like it, but he brought it up. So we'll see. But
enjoy it.
This is our second attempt, correct?
Yes.
So one more attempt after this, or it's no attempt, and then we just throw the checkered. At that point, the flagman has said, I'm sick of this. We're not going to try it anymore. And we're just going to pack it up and put it in the trailer. So we'll see if we get to that point. To be honest, we're starting to thin this field out a little bit with past repairs already being used. So a lot of drivers, and I mean a lot of them, just had to use them. And if you're the 45 right now of Alan Dobbs, is that one reason maybe you didn't come down? Are you fearful there's going to be another one and maybe use that fast repair on the next overtime attempt?
Maybe. Although I'm kind of chuckling at this right now. Race officials just had to rescind 11 black flags at once. 11 drivers got black flags on that last restart, and they all just got rescinded on that. That's funny.
Yeah, that is a lot of black flags to see, but 11. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that many.
Barney's getting a workout. Barney's getting a workout. He waved a black flag at 11 different trucks there, and then they say, nope, that's it. We're not calling it. Barney's looking up at them going, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah,
here we go.
Being overridden by the race control. That's definitely not going to make the flagman happy, but green flag is out. Dobbs out front leading this race at the moment. So he's not going to lead it for long as that is Jason Maines going to get by him in the 35.
Look who's up to fourth. Andrew Navarro hooked up with Jason Maines. Navarro was caught up in the first big one. Well, the first, second, I don't know what you want to call it. But the big one that put us under the first green, white checkered, he was caught up in it, and now he's in second. He's going to take a shot at it. Jason Maines and Andrew Navarro are going to try to settle this out here between them at the end. Peacock up to third.
Yeah, these guys are swapping position, and we look possibly be good to get the white flag and the CRN one to go here momentarily.
You just ruined it. We had the fan jinx set, and you just ruined it if something happens before we get back to the line. Oh, we're getting loose. You are lucky. You know that because we did take the white flag. CRN one to go. Andrew Navarro led the lap with a damaged race truck. Peacock right there. The number 7 of Fulton right there is not in the lead lap right now. So this is a 3-horse battle right now between Navarro, Maines, and Peacock. Fulton's a lap down in the 7.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, the 7 went up, and Noah shot there to
Wow,
the 2.
Peacock got a huge run there trying to help Navarro out. Down the backstretch for the final time into turn 3. Navarro pokes his nose out front. Maines tries a side draft. Peacock gets into Maines. They make contact, and that could be all Navarro needs to make it back. Here comes Peacock, go to the outside. He throws a block. They all wreck.
Who's it going to be? I don't know. I don't know who's going to get them.
I think
Maines
Jason Maines crosses the
grass.
line first. In the grass, he got it. Jason Maines blows the motor at the checkered flag and gets it done.
I don't think they could get any crazier. I do know one thing. We have definitely, and I mean definitely got to go back and take a look at this finish.
Oh, yeah. That's our version of the 1976 Daytona 500. There's Navarro hitting the wall. Huge hit there. And watch, Jason Maines blowing the motor, just says, go, go, go. And he crosses the line in the grass. Checkered flag. Jason Maines gets it done. Wow, that was awesome.
That was probably one of the wildest finishes. Considering how this race started, you could not complain about how it ended. One of the best races we have had on here in quite some time as far as finishes goes.
Derek Fulton giving Jason Maines a push back. But that was awesome. Jason Maines, $50 by going through the grass. Look at the help out from both Derek Fulton and Christian Sanford. They're just giving a little bump draft, that's all.
Yeah.
Look at the damage on the 35 of Maines. They push him back to victory lane. Jason Maines gets it done. But we believe we have the rest of the results ready, so let's take a look at the sawblade.com unofficial results, and it's Jason Maines getting the win here at Daytona. Getting the help back to the finish line. They park it on the line. Big one for Jason Maines. He gets the win. Alan Dobbs second. Taylor Peacock in third. Andrew Navarro fourth. Darren Hallman in the 14 comes home in fifth. I thought he was going to be able to squeak through that, but he comes home fifth. Christian Sanford sixth. J.R. Miller, Nathan Rogue, 8 trucks on the lead lap. Rusty Modesty and Travis Paul round out the top 10.
As he gets clobbered from behind. 11th place gonna go to Joseph Allen, who didn't get a whole lot of time on the air tonight. Unfortunately, he just mired back in the field. And that's when we've seen Brian J back there as well, followed by Kevin Winker, followed by Derek Bolton, who was up front, helped for the win, but just wasn't part of the lead lap scenario. Scott Hess having some issues here tonight. Rob Green, Brian Chu, Pete Polini had a good run, just it didn't end the way he wanted to. William Scott Jr. also had a good run, just didn't finish the way he wanted to. And Jonathan Munda finishing in the top 20.
John Ernest comes home in 21st. Garrett Maines does not finish the race, 5 laps down in 22nd position. Michael Anthony comes home in 23rd. Hunter Parsons, Rhett Tucker, Bradley Wilson, Clint Mata, Kevin Hallman, Ed Osborne, and Stephen Gregory from 30th. Rounding out the field was Zach Adams, Curtis Critchley, Ryan Twinham, Kieran Church, Jeff Snyder, Ronald White, and Robert Seawall. Your 37 truck field, and it was definitely an adventure. But we are done at Daytona. When we come back, we will catch up with as many as we can here on the post-race show. Hopefully, we have ourselves our top 3, but it was a wild one here at Daytona. We'll try to catch up with our top 3 after this. Welcome back to Daytona after a wild finish here in round number 3 of the Straight Cash Money series. $50 to the winner tonight for Jason Maines, but we have caught up with third place Taylor Peacock. And Taylor, we're going to ask all 3 of the guys who finished on the podium the same question. What happened on that finish?
Oh, man. Man, I knew it was going to get crazy. That whole race was crazy. I knew that finish probably going to be equally as crazy. I had to run on Navarro. I pushed Navarro past Jason there, and just as I got clear to Jason, I hopped up to the top, and Navarro just wasn't quite clear. But that's racing at Daytona for you. But other than that, I had a fun race. A lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up, but had a good time. It's always nice finishing in the money.
Well, Taylor, tell us about just the race as a whole, because you had a pretty quiet race. We checked in with you a couple of times throughout the course of the race. You were mid-pack, quietly making your way up to the front, but then all of a sudden at the end of the race, there you were right in the mix. So was your strategy to kind of just ride it out and let all the stuff work itself out before going for it at the end, or did it kind of just result in that the way the race went?
No, that was, well, I always try to judge off the beginning. If it seems like it's going to, we've had a couple races go green, and you never know with that 50% fuel, stuff can get spread out. But after we had the first couple cautions, I realized I just need to survive. So I just held off in the back, and I didn't have to use a fast repair until that very first green white checker. And then after that, it was right there.
Hand it over to Charles, see if he's got anything for you.
You got all the good questions, so I'll keep mine to the not good questions, unfortunately. But an 85 lap race here. I'm more curious as to how you came up with the lap count. We do a lot of races here, and they typically are 80 or 100. You went 85. Any particular reason on the different amount of laps? Is it was about 211 miles.
Yeah, we just we've always in this league been a fan of the 50% fuel, and having an odd number like that kind of it can kind of throw some people off. It brings in some fuel strategy every now and again. Just depends how the race plays out. This race played out a little more sloppy than others in the past, but what's to expect at the restrictor plates?
Oh, definitely a little sloppy at the beginning, then some green flag racing, and then some wild finishes towards the or wild finish at the end, and some one really big one coming to the end. So overall, I think a great race here, and of course, any sponsors you need shout outs here before we hand it back to Greg to talk to second place.
No, I just want to thank you guys from LSRTV. You guys do an awesome job broadcasting. I'm glad you guys are aboard and doing this mini season with us. Thank my teammates, Zach Adams and Steven Gregory. It's always fun working with them guys. They got down just a little bit, and I guess I thank my wife too. And other than that, I just thank everybody for coming and having a good time.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Your third place finisher, and Greg, I believe you caught up with the 45 of Alan Dobbs in second place.
And Alan, it was kind of an up and down race for you. We saw you kind of riding it out at the start, but then made your way up to the front. And once you were up at the front, you were near there for the rest of the race. But I want to ask you about that final green-white checkered with the damage on that truck. Had you already used the fast repair, or did you just say, you know what, this could be my only shot at the win here left? What was the call there to stay out with the damage?
Yeah, I had to use my fast repair on the caution coming to the end. My motor instantly just popped, so I had to go into pit road early and take that fast repair. So I didn't have another one. I didn't know how bad the damage was. Kind of held a few people up, so apologies for that. But we got out of the way, and boy, that between turn 4 and the start finish line's a doozy.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask you about that. So what did you see as you were coming around and you see all that happen? All of a sudden, you just realize, if I can go, I've got it. What's going through your mind when you come off turn number 4 and you see whatever in the heck that was?
Yeah, I mean, there was just smoke from one side of the track to the other. I couldn't see where the cars were. I didn't know really who had gotten wrecked. I knew one of them up there was a lap car, so I wasn't too worried about that. But I just, tried to find a line through it and kept it pinned because, coming to the checker, there's really no reason to let off.
And it results in a second place. We'll turn it over to Charles, see what he's got for you.
Oh, again, a damaged truck. It didn't matter. You get second place here this morning. Tonight in the sim itself. You were up front battling all day. We started out a few cautions, then we went green, and then wild at the end. What were your overall thoughts? What were you thinking about this race when we got 12 laps in and it already had 3 cautions? Were you preparing for a caution fest, and then were you kind of surprised when it straightened up there and we went, basically, I think I went 1.25-30 laps under green?
Yeah, the switch from Caution Fest to Green Flag Racing was definitely a nice swap up. I had originally thought I was going to just fall to the back and ride, but they kept wrecking back there, so I just kind of hung around in the middle, tried to stay at the rear end of the lead pack draft, and I saw a lot of people having to use fast repairs early, so that was really my big goal, was to keep the fast repair until late, and unfortunately, I did have to use it, but at least I had it.
Well, it's definitely good to have it, even though you don't need it. But you come home second place today in a good run and a good finish to go with it. As a lot of drivers not necessarily can say that here after today's race. Overall, good finish for you. Anyone on that car you need to thank for making it fast and getting you a second place here today.
I just got to thank Taylor for letting me join in, putting these races on. You guys for the broadcast, y'all do a really good job every week. And the other competitors, we had it was kind of crazy, but at the same time there was a lot of respectful, clean racing out there. So appreciate that, and sorry to everybody that got caught up on that big one coming to the end. I think my nose might have caused that. That's neither here nor there.
Well, definitely good run for you, and I don't recall. We'd have to go back and look at it, but either way, it doesn't matter. You said you get second place, and first place, of course, going to be Jason Maines, and boy, we have questions for him. And Greg, I believe you've caught up with him.
And Jason, first off, congratulations on the win and the straight cash money, but man, tell us about that finish, because that definitely has to be one of the most bizarre wins you've ever gotten.
Oh, for sure. I think Derek pushing there at the end. It was definitely crazy. I tried to ride in the back early just to see who I could race around and, who could hold their line, and got stuck back there for a lot longer than I wanted to. People are moving around a lot. And finally, when I got up there, I knew Pete and I seemed to have some bad luck. And we get around each other, and somehow we end up caught in other people's stuff. And lo and behold, coming to the end, I'm finally up there behind Garrett. I said, we're going to be good. We're going to be good. Next thing you know, I was, flying through the air. So, but very fortunate to come back out. I had my fast repair at that point, and just got lucky. I mean, that's all it was. I mean, when they wrecked in front of me again, I'm like, here we go. And if it had been in turn 3, I wouldn't have made it. So just fortunate.
And tell us about that. You come off turn number 4, you get collected in it, and all of a sudden you just hammer down. You got smoke pouring out of the back of that number 35. Did you just keep your foot in it the whole time and just hope you had enough forward momentum to get you to the line? Or what was going through your mind as you're coming to the line through the grass, mind you?
Well, my first thought was to get on pit road, and I was like, that's a shorter route. And then I'm like, if I do that, I'm gonna get busted for speeding. So the main thing was just to keep the car straight when I hit the grass, because I knew at that point, as long as I didn't get the truck turned one direction or another to create momentum being slowed down, at least I had a shot. I didn't even know Derek went on a lead lap at that point. But like I said, just lucky. You got to have luck at Daytona or Talladega all the time. So we had a little bit.
We'll turn it down to Charles real quick, but before we do, I just want to make one quick comment. Jason, next week, if we don't see a Chad Little John Deere inspired paint scheme on your truck, I'm going to be a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie.
I hear you, brother.
I'll turn it down to Charles.
We definitely need to see John Deere on there. He was plowing up the grass there to the finish, but we have to know there. We're coming into 10 to go, 5 to go. You got your son in front of you. He's got damage on there. So the question I've been wanting to ask either you or Garrett is, with that damage, was there any pecking order between father-son duo? Is it going to be whoever had the fastest truck, and it's an all-out battle?
Yeah, for me, I'm in here having fun, So the first time I got back into this stuff about 6 months ago, the very first race, I was behind him at Talladega, and I think it was like 2 to go, and I clipped the corner just a little bit going in and wiped him out in front of the field. So I didn't want to do that again. But yeah, it just really doesn't matter to me. I have fun with it. Winning's winning. But obviously, if I was on the outside, I'm not going to risk wrecking all our teammates and all that stuff. In that situation, if I'd have been on the outside and had a push, yeah, I'm not going to let him win. I mean, not doing that. But behind him, you got to finish to win it. And as you just saw, all the way to turn 4. So nothing's in the bag. So you got to just play your cards right, and maybe the next time the roles will be reversed, and then you don't have to worry about that in the same way.
Well, definitely a hard-fought, well-deserved win here. Unfortunately, Garrett, the teammate, not as good a finish. He had a good run, but then just some stuff at the end didn't allow him to finish as well as he probably should have. But we know he got sponsors on that car, so who all you got to thank there for that speed in that truck today?
Well, I got to thank Elliott Sadler Esports. There's a lot of preparation going into the Coke Series for Garrett, Vicente, and Ashton. So look forward to helping them test. And then I got to thank 101 CBD, Lennox Briley Mechanical. They've been with us for a long time, and look forward to the future in racing.
Well, definitely a good run for you here today. And that is just about going to wrap it up as we'll hand it back to Greg as we'll give our final thoughts here.
And what? Yeah, your congratulations again, Jason. What a great race here tonight. It got off to a shaky start, like Taylor Peacock mentioned earlier in this one, but wow, it was a wild race. Very fun. We did see the nice long green flag run, which we were able to click laps away, but man, that finish is going to go down as one of the most insane finishes on LSRTV in a long time. So definitely one for the highlight reel for sure. Jason Main's getting the win, but Charles, next week we're doing something very, very different here with this Straight Cash Money series.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to next week. Unfortunately, next week be back in the producer's role. It looks like Justin Prince will be back with us, and I'm looking definitely forward to that one as well. And real fast, I do want to mention one other thing here for my final thoughts. And you remember back when we saw the 18 get into the one of Garrett Maines under the caution. I do see here in the communications with their from the guy putting it all on that says in caps here, if you run into and damage someone's car under pace laps, what to talk to him after the race here to see if that's considered under pacing, if it's under a caution, or if that's just the pacing before the start of the race. It says you will face a penalty. So we'll see if anything's thrown down from that one after the race is over. But overall, good race here, Greg, and looking forward to next week.
Definitely looking forward to next week. The iRacing Super Speedway. Charles got more than his fill of it last night, but he's got one more round of it coming up, and that's next week. And we are very, very excited to be headed there with the trucks for some straight cash money. That's coming up here next Sunday night. But for us on LSR TV, we're done for the day. We got tomorrow at the... we're done till Wednesday. Excuse me. We are off next Monday night for the Cup Series, but next Monday we'll have the Northwest Truck Series finale. So our next broadcast will be Wednesday night, the S&B Cup Series, their regular season finale at Indianapolis. So a few days off here. Myself and Wesley Outland will be on the call for that one cutoff race. Just 2 playoff spots remaining and 5 drivers still very much in the thick of it right now. Looking very forward to that one. But for us here tonight from Daytona, we're going to have to call it a day. For Charles Wooten in the production booth and alongside me, I'm Greg Rentz. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. A fantastic show. We'll see you next time here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.